Good night, family. Good night. Good night. Good night. How is it going? Hope everybody's doing good. Yeah, how we go down later. Guys, you keep going to go this. Greetings, family. Greetings. Greetings to everyone. Hope everyone is having a fantastic night. Greetings to everyone. How is everyone doing? How is everyone doing? Look kind of job. How is everybody doing? We are here tonight. And let me get something together first. We're here tonight. Family. Get out some stuff. Let's take it. I had cleaned my decks off. Got me a sinner. So we're gonna come on this family. Give me a quick second. I had just rearranged my corner. Well, listen to some music. This is AI music family, so don't worry about the copyright issue. This is AI music that I created. So in the meantime, I'm coming family, I'm coming. We have a very hopefully I can deliver it as how the topic sound. Coming to you guys. I need a new lighter. I need a new lighter, family. I'm coming, family. Enjoy your music. Coming family, coming, putting them in here. This is the safety box, sorry, so you don't burn the place down. So just put it in here. Those are the sweeted ones. Yes, family. So how is everybody doing? How is everybody doing so far? I'm just going to turn this down a little bit. Hope everybody's doing good. Everybody's doing good. How is everybody tonight? How is everybody? How is everyone doing? How is everybody? As the songwriter say, hello everybody, how are you? But anyway, yes guys, today I had a long day, guys. I had a long day. I was not feeling well because I got up that early this morning. Well, it wasn't so early, but I know the time I normally get up. So I got up a little earlier than I normally would. and then I fell asleep halfway along the journey today, and then I feel like I'm coming down with the flu. I don't know. I was supposed to go somewhere today. I didn't even go because the car radiator went out. So I gotta go get that fixed. And outside is very cold, so it wouldn't be wise for me to take the kids in the car with no heat. So yes, so we're gonna get that taken care of hopefully soon. I called my church brother today, and he was able to check with someone for me, one of his mechanics, and he said he will accompany me there. I Church Network, greetings. How are you? Prayers up for healing. Yes, yes. So while I was sleeping today, I don't know, but another topic come to mind again. But I don't know if it's from earlier. Yes, blessings. I Cherish Church, greetings, greetings. Thank you so much, and I see you be praying for all content creators. So thank you so much for that as well. And I was watching The View today, where they were saying that the deleting of a lot of things are coming. But when I went to take the nap today, I was knocked out because I had to get up early this morning because of the alarm was going off and everything. But anyway, so I got another topic just come up to in my head just like that today. And I did some research, and it said, this is how I get the topic, and this is just how I got it. That's the same way I type it out. How change impact change. I'm like, what? We already know how change can impact something, but when they say how change impact change, I'm like, wonder which direction this is going into. So it led me to that. But before we get into the change, as I said, this book was donated to me. And then since today is the 13th, I need to turn my page. And then we're gonna read the 13 is short. So let's read it and see what was the message or the devotion for tonight is to just start our night off. So greetings to everyone, and hope everyone having a blessed day, a blessed night, and everything. So today is February 13th. They say, peace be with you. Ever since the resurrection, this has been my watchword to those who yearn for me. Big Jack story time. Greetings, bless up. How are you? How are you? I might have to move that thing because I got asthma. I can't inhale all of that. Give me a second there, family. I got asthma. I can't inhale all that. I gotta put it somewhere. Give me 1 second there, family. Greetings, greetings. 1 second. Let me put this up. Sorry about that. I can't inhale all of that. Anyway, let's keep it pushing. So this book was given to me, and you have the 12 months of the year, every day of each month, something for it. I Cherish Thursday. I love CEO of Cash. Hello, Big Jack. Yes, yes, yes. All right, greetings to everyone. So February 13th today said, it's very short, people. Peace be with you. Ever since the resurrection, this has been my watchword to those who yearn for me. As you sit quietly, let my peace settle over you and enfold you in my loving presence. To provide this radiant peace for you, I died a criminal's debt. Receive my peace abundantly and thankfully. It is a rare treasure, dazzling in delicate beauty, yet strong enough to withstand all onslaughters. Wear my peace with regal dignity. It will keep your heart and mind close to mine. And this is also taken from John, you say, waiting you to be a guest on my show. Yes, Big Jack, I gotta I gotta create a new email too. I gotta create a new email, so I will be on there. When I create an email, then we can have a dialogue going back and forth as to what really you expect. I know apart from giving up a synopsis of who I am is different as opposed to what really you would want me to dive deeper into, or what tips or whatever, so we can have that, so I can have my cue cards. Or even though I don't need a cue card, but so I can send to something around something like pointers, bulletin, you know. So this is also taken from John's 20 verse 19 to 21, and John's 14 verse 27. And I don't know if this is First John, Second John, but that was the message for today. So the part I'm going to leave with you is, it will keep your heart and mind close to mine. He said, wear my peace. That means we wear peace on our hearts. Regal dignity. We always hear people say we must have some dignity in us, have some pride. So yes, so greetings to each and every one of us. I cherish church and Big Jack in the house. Greetings to everyone, and for all the silent watchers and everything, greetings to each and every one. To the likers, the sharers, and the commenters, greetings to each and every one. So let's get right into it, because there's a lot is going on. And I was reading an article today. No, I was watching the news earlier. Let me know if I need to turn. Let me turn on the music a little, because I'm still gonna need to use this phone anyway. I was reading an article today. Well, not reading an article. I was watching the news today. After I get the heading, how change impact change. And I was listening to David Muir. Anybody know David Muir, that reporter there? And he was showing a video that he said viewed over 1 million times, where the humpback whale, this coyote, the guy that was on the coyote, not is not the animal, but the thing they call what they call it, coyote, some other canoe, not the canoe. Anybody know that little thing, like the thing they paddle on water? And the whale swallowed him. And I'm like, where is this going? Is this a sign and wonder? Yeah, Kaya, very good, Big Jack. Thank you so much, Kaya. And I'm saying, anybody seen that story? Should check it out. And I'm saying, what? Where is this going? Because this after after I woke up and I get that message. How can change impact change? And I'm like, what? So my head go right back to Jonah and the whale. And then I was reading about Jonah and the whale when God asked him to go preach to the enemy city, and he refused. So he was trying to run away to get away, because he didn't want to do the task that God asked him to do. And he went away. And because of that, the way he was on the ocean, already on ocean, trying to get away from the task that was given to him, because he refused, because he was supposed to go preach to the enemy city, and he refused. And that's what happened to him. Eventually the whale spit him back out. So today when I saw that and say how miraculous that is for the humpback whale to spit this man out, I can't wait to see his story, to how he survived. And David Muir was saying that, according to the news, while David was saying it, he said the father was also on another thing there, saying to his son, take it easy, encouraging. I'm telling you, parents love beat everything. Parents love beat everything, man. You know what I mean? No matter what we're going through. So hearing that, I'm like, what kind of message is this sending? Because this is like we're living in the last days. What kind of message? But that's not what we want to talk about. I just wanted to share that was a change for him. I'm pretty sure that was a life-changing experience for him. Out there in that water, and that humpback whale just swallow you and spit you out. Now you're gonna be affiliated to Jonah and the whale now. So now a lot more things gonna be having, a lot more people, even maybe in the church community, gonna start to, if they see this, gonna start to talk about this as the time we're living in. It's like crunch time. But anyway, let's get to this here. How change impact change. And I don't know why, I don't know why these keep coming to my head, because but it's coming and I'm gonna collect it as it comes. As long as it's something positive. So let me get back into it, and as I had already researched it, it's gonna pop right back up. How change impact change. So we're gonna get right into it. Oh, this phone can't go in there. Sorry, family. I'm gonna have to stop the music on here. That phone is something else. So let me stop the music here. But I hope everybody is having a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful night. And remember, 365 days in the year. If you are tired, because I know it's late and you have to go, I appreciate you stopping by and all that. So let's try to get into it. All right. So we're going to use AI for this section here, and then we can use this phone for some of the other things that is coming up as well. Yes. So we're looking at how change impact changes. Change impacting changes essentially means that one change can trigger or influence further changes. And I just want to pause right here to kind of interject what is happening in the country right now that we're living in. We see so many things that was at the forefront that was being discussed, like immigration, that is going to impact change. It not only impact change to immigrant, but it also impact change to businesses. That means a lot going to be changing. Maybe some business going to be going to closure and a lot of things. And then only to realize, I was listening to the views today where they're saying that these people want to delete DC. How are you, Garbane? How are you? How are you? Greetings, greetings. So there's a lot of change that is going to happen. And it's going to affect everybody, whether we like it or not. I think I did a video once, and good night, good night. How are you? How is everyone? How is everyone? I think I did a video before, and I said the good is going to suffer for the bad. And whether we like it or not, this is a clear indication that the good is suffering for the bad. Because when we look and see things are happening, the changes that are changing, it's gonna happen. It's gonna affect us, good way and bad way, depending on what the situation is. And when you look and see people build their career, go through colleges, go through universities, and studies for months, weeks, not even months. Studies for 4 years. Some, if you go further in masters and PhD, it is more years, right? And all this, and then you come out and you get a decent job. Everybody desires to have a decent job, and only to hear that change is coming. It make you look back at this song where it say it's been a long time coming, and I know change gonna come. Even though the song doesn't mean that way, but you can also still use that song to interpret what is happening right now. Because one thing leads to another. And that's what we all also got to remember with changes. One thing lead to another. It's like having a car. You got to take the car to the shop to do just a minor little repair. And when you go take it to the shop, when they examine your car, they said, you have a bigger issue. And it need to be fixed right away. It need to be dealt with right away. Now, that wasn't in your budget. You only had your budget set towards, okay, yes, you made a few adjustments, but you didn't expect to hear such a big news. So a lot of these things that you see are happening are gonna have a negative impact, also a positive impact on life. Because one thing may be not good for change, but some things are going to be good for change. But when you look and see how many people now are being either buy need to be buyed out from the bigger part of this country, which is in the White House, as opposed to the littler part, it make you wonder how safe is everyone gonna be when things like that happening from the head? The man at the bottom gonna have to start prepare to find something to start strike the balance. Maybe get on YouTube, get on TikTok, get somewhere so that they can start to continue with their livelihood, especially if they were just working a 9 to 5 and have nothing else coming in but what they had studied so hard for, and it was a good paying job. So now when all these changes come, it's gonna left them thinking like, should I take the buyout or should I just don't do whatever? Now it could be a possible leading because the deadline had passed today. Could be now possible leading to, oh, your service is no longer needed. That's a big change right there. But the good thing, they get a little alarm early. They get a little time to think of either taking the buyout or something, you know. And it's going to be a pretty much wake up call for every organization, institution, because when you see changes are happening, I can promise you everybody is going to start to look into their institutions or organization to see that whosoever is not performing, they're going to use that as a resource, as a tool to tell you why they're laying you off or why they're telling you your service is no longer needed. They're going to find that to tell you. They probably say to you, well, as a result of the economic crisis that we're faced with now and the demand that we're in, you're not up to par and you're not being punctual. They're gonna find everything that to dot their eyes and cross their T to give you a valid reason on their end to say as to why they're gonna let you go. So we have to learn to prepare for these changes. And for people who have a 9 to 5 job and you know you're just out there in those 9 to 5 jobs, you're gonna have to start wise up now. Because changes is coming. What affect the head will affect the middle and then affect the end or the bottom. Everything. If once it up here is affected, then the body gonna affect it. And what's gonna happen? Everything now is gonna start crumble until things can come back together. And nothing wrong with change. It's depending on what change. Nothing wrong with change. But it's a wake up call for everybody. And for everybody who was out there and scared to say that they don't know where their head is gonna go. I would encourage people to start get on the internet. Start do something that you're passionate about. Start accept changes. Roll with the punches. Because the things that are happening is clear indication that anytime the head start going that direction, what they expect the body is gonna be doing. It's gotta go in that direction. Because cutting costs will also have everybody will start making shuffle. Making adjustment because they're not gonna be able to continue the way they were functioning. They're not gonna be able to function that way anymore. Because when things are cut, so does some things that are cut that are provided by the government. The resources that most people depend on to run their organization or their institution or the services that they cater to everybody, those things are going to be affected. Jobs going to be lost. Then you could go down the slope to come right back up the slope because then they're going to have to come up with a different formula. Because if the formula that is there, then they say it's not working. They're gonna have to, it's like cleaning out an apartment to make somebody else come in. They have to make changes. They can't just leave the apartment the way it was when somebody else was renting it, and then when somebody else come in, when those person no longer lives there, they move out or whatever the circumstance was for them to move. They cannot rent somebody that apartment just like that. They have to make changes. They have to make changes. So change is going to come, people, and it's going to be time for us to wake up. It's going to be time for us to wake up. So let's keep going here. As the songwriter says, it's been a long time coming, and I know change gonna come. Yes, it's coming. Creating a ripple effect. So they're saying that changes are going to creating a ripple effect where adjustment in one area can necessitate adjustments in other related areas, like what I had alluded to just now from that one little sentence there, often leading to a cascading series of modification within a system or organization, like what I was just making reference to. They have to. You have to make adjustment. Anything at all. Same way in households. The breadwinner no longer around. You don't have that family structure no more where it was two of you paying all the bills and you have a bigger house, maybe a 5-bedroom house, a 3-bedroom apartment, and everything gets so high. And then one party no longer in the house anymore. Now you're going to have to reduce, especially if you're trying to still maintain a healthy lifestyle. You're going to have to reduce some things, because if you don't, then you're going to take a plunge. And some plunge you don't come back from, because it's a hard hit, one that was unexpected. And what we're seeing that is happening from the head, we all have to start be aware of changes. It's coming. Because even though we will look at one thing and say, oh, it's all about immigration, but then you look at something else and you're like, it's like you go, shoot, I did not see this coming. A lot of people didn't see change coming, but it's here. It's like that man on the water. He didn't know that the whale was going to give him a wild ride down his throat, but he went there. And I cannot wait to hear his story, his side of how his experience was. Because things are happening, and God is a good God. Because the things that are happening, man, I'm telling you. But anyway, let's keep going. Key points about how change impact changes. Interdependence. Different parts of a system are often interconnected, like what I was alluding to. It could be schools, it could be churches, because remember, most of these organizations are also funded by the government, especially schools, so most schools. And the programs that they offer, those funds come from the government. And when they're trying to get that part ripped out, and they put in the stress on the states and stuff like that, that's added pressure, and that's going to also cause the state to reduce workload. Not workload is probably high sky, but it's going to reduce people in terms of how much people they can hire or they can afford to keep. And they're going to go through their analysis and their statistics and over the years progression and how they were growing, and look at who helped grow the company more, as opposed to somebody just coming. And even the man that just come into the job might be let go too, because they're still not having enough ripple effect on the job either, so they will get ripple out too. Those people will be let go too, even if they just come into the job. Not to say that they're not effective, but sometimes they will. Because when people cutting things, when things are not working, they have to do that. You know what I mean? To also bring back the company. Sometimes they do call them back, depending on what it is, you know. But we gotta wake up. So a change in one area can have implications for other parts, causing further adaptation to maintain, we say, balance, which is your equilibrium to be balanced. And a lot of things are going to be happening. A lot of things are cutting, and a lot of things are going to be happening for the greater good, and some things are not going to be sitting well with the nation. It's going to be a discussion going forward. Adaptation and response. When a change occurs, individuals or organizations may need to adapt their behaviors, processes, or strategies to accommodate the new situation, which I mentioned earlier, which can lead to further changes in related areas. And a lot of related areas, we all can relate to them: schools, churches, health field, because with research, they do a lot of research to help with with cancer, a lot of different high-end diseases that are affecting the human race. And it doesn't matter what walk you're from, disease don't have no favoritism. You walk anywhere, you know what I mean? That's the only thing that walk everywhere and don't even care. You don't even care how much you got, you just walk. Hello, you're next. um Come over here. You don't know they're calling you, but it's calling you until you see something or somebody noticing you know what I mean? So the change is coming. Are we going to be happy with some of the changes? No. But how prepared are we going to be for those changes? How accepting are we going to be with those changes? Are we going to be accepting all those changes? No. Are we going to agree with some of those changes? Yes. Are we going to disagree with some of those changes? Yes. But we still got to prepare and do our part to get out of that change or to adjust to that change, whether you like it or not, because it's going to be from the bigger heads. And there's nothing you can do with the bigger heads when the bigger heads do whatever. If they don't come to a decent resolution, you just gonna have to work with it. Increasing prices of a lot of stuff. We don't know when that gonna go up or go down. It might be going up. We're listening when they're talking about even insurance on cars. And we all drive. We gonna have impact. A lot of stuff they're talking about the decrease in credit cards. A lot of those things we all related to because we use credit card. Not everybody use credit card, but I would assume that most of us use credit cards to make safer in transaction, and if any little thing, we're protected. So a lot is gonna be happening, you know what I mean? But as they said here, positive and negative feedback loops. Changes can create feedback loops where the initial change triggers further changes that either reinforces or what they call it counteract the original change, leading to cascading effects. So some of the changes that they're saying that with the feedbacks and everything, it can trigger further changes that either reinforces or counteract the change, the original change that was there. So sometimes it's like a tweak of something that was already there. Because sometimes all people do sometimes when you're in a business and you're running a business, is just tweak some things a little bit depending, especially if your vision is not that clear. They just tweak a little bit of what was already there, and then that's the change. Doesn't mean it's a big change, but a little thing make a difference. Little things make a difference. It's like they say little cut hurts. Oh, they do hurt. They hurt more than the big one. So little changes. You might not see the little changes, but you will feel the little changes. Not everybody will feel it, but the majority will feel the little changes of things that are going to be happening. Increase in foods and all these things. A lot of stuff that people are hoping to go down might not go down right away because of all the changes that are happening or taking place. And in order for in good to come, we have to go to the bad, then go to the good. And that's why they say the good suffer for the bad. Because when changes are happening, it's not just the people who are bad are feeling the wrath of anything. Everybody are feeling the wrath, especially the majority are feeling the wrath of what is happening. Change Even driving on the road and somebody make a wrong move, it change your thought process. It change you too. It change the way how you go about, because then you have to either move or try to get out the way. And while trying to get out the way, you might create change for somebody else, or somebody create change for you. Could be a lifetime change, ongoing recovery. Sometimes you never recover. That's a huge change right there. And that people have to left to pick up the pieces. It's like somebody drowning in debt. And you married them and you didn't know they were in debt. And you marry all those bills. You lend somebody your cards, think you could trust them to use it wisely. Now they run your name up in debt, and it's not you, but you got to pay it back because it's in your name. And those changes that can affect you negatively, and some things can affect you positively. So change is coming. Different direction, change is coming. Increasing gas price. I was listening where the government was saying that because he imposed tariff on a lot of on a few countries, and other countries might want to do the same, and he had to say if they do that, then they're gonna get it back. He gonna give them tariff right back, their tariff that they give to him. So a lot of things are coming, guys, and it's gonna require us to pour more out of our pocket. But you're not working more. Just remember, if you're in a 9 to 5 and you're not working no more than what you're working, and a change come, you're gonna require to do more out of what you have, the little that you got, because of the changes that are gonna take place. Schools are going to be affected by the way they do stuff. People who offer these free services like therapy session for whether adults, kids, or anything, for just about a lot of people, the homeless or anything, a lot of things will be impacted. I know they're going to have to make adjustment in how they navigate. Just like with the egg changes recently in the price, a lot of stores are putting limitation on how many eggs somebody can buy, just so they could still stay in the market and not run out because of all the changes that are happening. But as I said, change can come in a good way and a bad way. So change will affect us positively and negatively, and sometimes also counteract what was already there. It's like somebody said, but we've been doing this. Why do you want to tweak it? Sometimes it's just one word they put in to make a difference. And because that word may be stronger than everything else, it hold power. But you gotta wake up, family. Gas price increase in a lot of stuff you're gonna see. But you remember your paycheck is still at the same arena. No change. Even if it changes, it ain't gonna have no major changes. Maybe a few cents or a dollar or so. That's not big enough for the changes that are coming. So now it's gonna require us to start spend wisely. If we weren't knowing what we're spending our money, and if we weren't not if we were not doing it. So you see how many things that are gonna happening that we're gonna start to have to learn to pour these things out. But anyway, change is coming, guys. As I started to say, it's been a long time, and change is coming. I'm just taking that part since we're reflecting. We're talking about changes. If you guys have any things about change or what you think about the things that are happening that are changing, it's going to affect us, whether we like it or not, whether we want to talk about it or not. These things are real, reality, and your imagination may not be in line, but trust me, when you wake up and see reality, it is what it is. But we got to keep going. Examples of how change impacts changes. Technology advancements. Introducing new software in a company might require changes to employee training, workflows, and even organizational structure. Like what the government is doing. You have the richest man alive in government now helping to navigate the government system in a lot of stuff, and he is eradicating a lot of these stuff that they don't think is necessary for the head to be holding control of or anything. So now and then, this man is into technology. He created $1 million company and all these things. This man, we might not agree with a lot of stuff, but the changes are coming. And you see what they're doing? They're deleting the head first. They're starting at the head. And a lot more companies are going to start at the head, deleting till they go down, till they have no more buttons left to delete. They're going to have additional button called deleted. They're going to have to stop calling the button delete or call it deleted. Because that was a pass. And just bring back the button that was there, which is delete. It was already there, yeah? Something's going to counteract. So when you see these people that have so much power and build so much things around them, when they come with their little plans and everything, the majority gonna feel it. The people are up there with, they ain't gonna feel it. Even if they don't agree with it, they ain't gonna feel it. Their brush ain't gonna feel like no brush. It's like you go to buy pizza and you say, a lot more Parmesan cheese. Yeah, put some more in there, make some more changes. I need extra butter. You need extra this. All that extra this, you ain't gonna get it. Because of what changes is doing. You used to eat out a lot. A lot of changes are gonna come in how people go up. Even if you didn't know how to cook or anything, you're gonna start make things happen. Just to stretch that dollar that you got. Not everybody going willing to ride with the changes though. You gotta remember. Some people still gonna just do it the regular way of how they were living. And technology we have in AI coming in, that will push away a lot of things, because now if you can use AI to create any little thing like what we're doing, AI creating music, AI creating backdrop. I'm in all the way in Michigan and I have a video with me look like I'm in Manhattan, and I've never been to Manhattan. So you see all the changes that are happening, and we are also feeling it. And as a YouTuber, as I make mention of those things that YouTube is rolling out now, that is what you call easy mode now, because it's paving the way to make things easier for us to just capitalize on it. All we gotta do is learn how to do or be creative with the art that is already there, embedded there. It's already there to help us. They hear the cry and they're trying to help. And what we're seeing now is the difference. I cherish Jesse. I am ready, Jack. When I don't know if he's still here, but yes, we're seeing changes. A lot of things. Robot making. I was watching a young lady lives in New Jersey. There, she's a content creator, and I was watching her one day go to New York, and I was fascinated because the robot was literally making her coffee. The robot. It was not a humankind there making her coffee. It was a robot making it, asking her what's her name, and she tell the robot what's her name. When the time come, the robot was calling out her name. That was so cute. I'm like, you know, uh, it'll get during the winter, guys. You can feel it, pappy pappy. Instead you heel back pappy pappy, you live pappy pappy. Hello, Cynthia. Hello, how are you? Greetings, greetings. So I saw her with the robot making her coffee, and it wasn't like a coffee what they call him, a latte. I don't know, because I'm not big on coffee, so I don't know. But they did the little square heart inside, the little heart in there and everything. And I'm like, I was so curious. You should see me watching that robot. My eyes were wide awake. So you see, but you know what? When I was studying, um our technology teacher at the time was telling us that sooner or later, a lot of change is gonna come. But when you're young, we might agree and might not agree, because knowing human being, we might not accept some of those changes, which we will not. No matter what, we will not accept some of the changes. But it's the reality. I mean, so greetings to each and everyone. I don't know if everybody is still here anyhow. But anyway, to everyone that is here, to God be the glory, great things He has done. I mean, but change is coming, people. Don't sit and change. It is coming. It is coming. We used to talk about gone were the days where AI gonna start teach our children. They're using AI in school now. A lot of schools are using AI to even help them with lesson plans. You know, but nothing wrong with using AI. We just have to back up AI with other research that is out there that are more credible. Because it's like they say not everything on AI is accurate. It's like the Wikipedia of AI is like a Wikipedia, where a lot of things not going to be correct. Remember that site? Well, anybody, go to college or universities or anything and study, and you have to do a research paper. They tell you if you're going to handle some research. Well, back in my days, if you're going to handle a research paper, do not get anything off of Wikipedia and give it to us, because some information anybody can go in there and can edit the information, and then it might not be true. So even AI might not be 100% accurate, but you still can always fact check your information with other credible sources. We have to do our duty as well. And even if we're reading off AI and you hear these things, go to other credible websites and sources or research-based websites that talk about changes. What is happening in the government? What is happening in the White House? And see how well you can elevate yourself with the knowledge that is already there, so that when AI break down things for us to understand a little bit more better, then we can decipher which is which. So we can have the knowledge for ourselves, because knowledge is power. It don't hurt to have nothing. Knowledge is power. Have it. We don't have to be a 5-star to have everything. Knowledge is power. We can educate ourselves now. You know, So that's examples of how change is going to impact changes. Technology is the biggest. And we see what is happening now with technology. We gotta get technophile with it. I'm not technophile. Technophiles are people who are very savvy in technology. So I'm not technophile. Okay. Market fluctuations. Selena the Celestial, greetings, greetings. Good night. How are you? How are you? So we're going to look at market in fluctuations. A shift in market demand can prompt a company to modify production lines, price strategies, and marketing campaigns. So the way Selena said, just doing editing in the background here to support. Thank you so much, love, manners, and respect. Yes, I know it probably be tiring, but appreciate. We're just here talking about how change can impact changes, like what is happening here, and that is so funny, because everything, as I alluded to earlier, is connected somewhere, somehow, something is intertwined. It's like maths and English is intertwined, and you'd say, oh, maths is different from English. You have worded problem in maths. Ain't that English? You gotta read it. So maths and English intertwine. And that's why those two subjects are very important for us to encourage our children to have. Because those two subjects go very much hand in hand. Human and social biology, chemistry, physics, all these things. A lot of them have their differences, but the similarities are still there. Thank you so much, Selena. Please remember to hit that like button. Thank you so much. Appreciate everyone. All right. So a lot of changes are taking place. You see, the price in eggs went up. That's a change. Store barely have eggs on their shelf. You have one point where milk was so sky high, our milk, you barely could get milk. We have shortage. WNC right say hello. This is your friend and brother. Sorry I missed your live stream. How are you? That's all right. We appreciate. Thank you so much. We are here today. We are live and well. We're talking about changes. So thank you so much for stopping by. Changes. And Selena said, I just paid $8 for eggs, cheapest carton. Wow. Wow. Well, let me make it clear. Selena is all the way in Australia. So she paid $8 in Australia, okay? Family. So yes, but a lot of stuff. The way people campaign for promoting their company, the strategies that they're going to use, they probably reduce some of the things because the high cost of promoting. Anybody know when you do promotion or so forth, and especially if it's a paid promotion, it can cost you billions of dollars just to promote what you're promoting. So a lot of things are going to be impacted. And then, this is where now I remember one year when they did some changes. We had a lot of unethical practices that people were practicing. I think at one point they had some water shortage once. It wasn't here, I think it was in my country. And then people were started putting some label on some things and call it the best this and best that. And people were out there doing their research because not everybody buy all these things that you hear out there. Selena said that's like $5. Oh, that well, I think we're feeling the grunge of $6 over here for eggs. So we probably saying that's a little high because we used to pay $2-3 for eggs. So I think we probably saying that's a little high. 'Cause right now eggs are $6 or so forth. They were talking about. So we probably say that's a little too high, depending because you're looking at the margin from then up as opposed to current. So, so it's still somewhere there in the alley, still somewhere there in between the alley here, you know. So you're looking at a lot of things, it's gonna make a shift, fluctuation, a lot of things. And when you have shortage, a lot of things that you used to get for $1 maybe become $1.50. Yes, it's too expensive. And then when you go out to eat at a restaurant now, they have, because of the major changes, they have to make adjustment to their menu as well. Good night. How are you? Good night. Good night. How are you, sweetie? How are you? How are you doing? So a lot of changes is coming, guys. And technology is at the top of it. AI making changes. All these things making changes. Kudos to all the technophile people out there, because I'm telling you, they already know what it is. They already know how to capitalize on that market if they're technophile. Because they already advanced. But the little man, the middleman, the little man like us out there now who are just trying to navigate our way. We are not technophile yet. When I mean technophile, we're not tech savvy yet. We're going to have to get up to par in order to get a piece of the pie. Not good. I was, oh, wow. Wow, maybe you need to drink some milk if you're not lactose intolerant or peptidismal, you know. But greetings to you. So a lot of things are coming. Price strategies, the way they're pricing their goods now is going to make a difference to them, and it's going to make a difference to consumer. Like us who have to go to the stores or anywhere you got to go to purchase these. The housing market are feeling it too. Because when you put tariff on a lot of things, then the things that are exported, what they call exported, imported from other countries to here are going to feel it. So the housing market, instead of seeing a reduction in mortgage price, or so you might not see that right now because of all the changes that are making. So you guys got to stay with current event so that you guys can keep abreast of it. Policy changes, which is what is happening in the White House. New regulations in a sector can force businesses to adapt their operation, potentially influences their supply chain and customer interactions. So the way that you say, I forgot, oh, the prune, yeah, prune is good too, yes. Oh, okay. Well, make sure you're close to your beautiful bathroom. All right. So policy changes are gonna impact a lot of stuff at the middle, the middleman. When we say the middleman, and then the people have to branch off from there. It's like you have the wholesaler, the retailer, the wholesaler, and then you have the I forgot all the how they go it down, but all of those big heads once it affect them, oh sure, all that gonna come down to consumer. Everything that affect them is gonna come right down to consumer because consumers like us. We're all consumer. We're consuming something every day. We're going out with making purchases every day, whether to get gas, to get food, to get your hair done, to get your nails on, all the things that you're going out there to do. Yes, WC appreciate. It's I am my iron is not okay. Oh, okay, okay. That can also. Oh well, drink a lot more waters and stuff like that. They say sweet potato help bring up your iron level as well because of the high potassium inside of it. Oh wow. Well, take care of yourself. You will get through with it. Just do some research or go to the doctor, see what they can give you to reduce all of that. So policy changes, which is happening up there, family. I'm telling you, it's gonna distribute right down to the retailer, to the wholesaler, to the consumer, to everybody. And then this is when you change will come, things will make a change, but it's not going to change right there and then. We're going to feel the wrath of everything first, then we are going to start to see things make a u-turn to work for the greater good of us, the consumer, but not before we pay the price for it, if that makes sense. Not before we pay the price of it. Sorry for that, my dear, but hopefully all will be well with you soon. All right. So take care, get yourself some rest or so forth, so you can get your mind frame together and everything together and your bowel moving again. All right. Correctly. You're going through that change right now. Important considerations when managing changing change impacts. Change impact analysis. Identifying all potential areas affected by a change and assessing the degree of impact is crucial for effective change management. I've never tried the prune before, but I heard it's good, but I've never tried it before, so I can't help you on that one. Yeah, I cannot help you on that one, but hope you feel better soon. That's all I can say. Sending some love your way. Hope you feel better soon with that, because that can be painful. Change can be painful at times, which we're talking about change right now. Okay, but we're gonna keep going with this change right here. But hopefully, you're taking the necessary steps to take care of that part of you, because your health is wealth. So, change impact analysis. So, identify all the potential areas affected by change. What areas? Like when they start identify what are the things that are going to be affected by the changes that we're seeing currently happening from the big A, which is the White House. Schools, non-profit organization, people who have grants out there that give it to people and all this. And when they're making these changes, they want to cut the what they call it, the USAID. I remember the acronym. I forgot what exactly it meant. You know what I mean? But if anybody remember what the USAID acronym is, you can comment it down here for me, please, if you wish. If not, nothing is fine. Remember, we talked about nothing last night. It's still okay. Okay. If you just want to listen in, I still appreciate you guys. You know what I mean? But a lot of things are going to be happening. Change in school, change in how you go, even medication or you buy medication, changing how you go to the doctor with the out of cost money. Because a lot of these things, when change are happening, sometimes your insurance companies can tell you, hey, we're not paying for this, because they're feeling the wrath as well. So they might cover some things and some things might just drop off. And you were hoping that this would be covered, only to realize no, it don't. Like recently, I was listening to the news where a change in price in asthmatic medication caused somebody to lose their life, because when they go to the store, that the one that the doctor prescribed for them to go buy, when they go to purchase it, it was on the news. When they go to purchase it, the price that they were paying for it, let's say $40, it went up to like $500. That person went away because they have bills to pay, but that person could not live without that medication. So it go from $40 to $500, and the insurance didn't cover that, so the person walk away because they had their rent to pay, and you know how rent is. And that person walk away, for good, not here no longer. So I'm just telling you how change will impact a lot of things that we're dealing with. So we have to start to pay attention, people. Stay abreast of what is happening. Don't be deleted because you're not trying to stay abreast. Yes, a lot of things can be stressful, but I am imploring all of you, I'm encouraging all of you to keep abreast of what is going on. And Miss I Cherish Church Network said in Houston, due to the economic, you can now have 6 chickens in your backyard. This law just came back. Wow. Home gardens will help with grocery bill. Yes. So right there, people, if you're out there in Houston, they said there is a law, Miss Archery Stretch here alluded to, in just passed now, so you can have up to 6 chicken in your backyard, and you still gotta be careful because they have that bird flu going around right now, and they found some in Michigan right now. So everything, change is coming in everything. The way we do stuff, the way we used to have galore of stuff, we no longer gonna have that. The way you used to have $2 to spare and somebody call and say, hey, I need $2, you might tell them, bro, right now, all these changes, I gonna have to hold off first. Let me see what these changes are doing. Not to say you don't want to give the dollar, but you want to make sure you understand what that dollar going to make, the difference that dollar is going to make, when not just to you but to that person. They might not mean nothing when they get it because of all the changes. Eggs are $5 a dozen, and having a garden and no chickens. See, right now I wish I was having a backyard where I could go do some gardening when the spring start come up. We can start plant, so I could start reaping the summer or so forth. But on the garden I can have is probably create a wall garden. You know what I mean? But change is coming, family. We gotta get up to it. It's coming. If the head is rooting out a lot of stuff, just remember it's gonna drop down here. Where it's gonna go? It's gonna drop on you, the consumer. Everything that is happening is gonna drop on us, the consumer. It's gonna drop on education. Right now they're talking about education, and they're saying how badly America is compared to other countries or so forth. And I was listening to the view where they're saying, but one person was saying that what they pour so much into education, so I expect the education system to should be better and everything. But you know, things gotta get worse in order for it to get better. That's just my take on it, you know what I mean? But we gotta keep going. We can't give up because it's not the first time change gonna come. It's been around ages. From this world evolve, changes are happening constantly. So some of these things are not new. Am I new to the younger generation or to the people at large who never encountered this before? But as long as you're alive, change will always happen. You are growing, your kids are growing. Those are changes, but those are not the major changes that's gonna affect you because they're growing up to grow out and say bye bye. So those are not the changes that are gonna affect you. What is gonna affect you is the economy, the crisis, the housing, the rising in inflation and infrastructure and the taxes and all these things, insurance, the taxes that we're going to pay on these things are what's going to be affecting us. It's not the change in how you raise your family or anything. That going to have an impact. But when you see you go to the grocery store, let's say you go with $100 and you used to get 2 bags of item. Now you're gonna come home with half a bag. Remember I said 2 bags you used to probably get come home with now. Sooner or later you're gonna come home with half a bag. Can't even feed your family. Now you're gonna start eating. Now you're gonna start eating. What you say? Even if you never used to worry about portion size, now is the time you're gonna have to start worry about it. Especially if you have a big family. And when you have a big family, you spend more. So now everything now gonna have to you probably gonna have to start by a scale to measure everything, every ounce of everything, just to make your dollar stretch further. Because not everybody gonna be able to be on certain programs to help themselves. Some people day in, day out have to do this. Not everybody gonna have the wherewithal to just freely swipe like that. So it will affect the households. Yes, yes, WNC. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for stopping by. You have a good night. Yes, thank you. So a lot of changes is coming, guys. Just keep abreast of what is going on, so your dollar can stretch for your dollar. Okay. Stakeholders engagement. Communicating changes clearly to relevant stakeholders and addressing their concerns can help mitigate resistance and facilitate adaptation. What the bigger head is doing, it's affecting stakeholders. And you know what are stakeholders? You know, people who have a common interest in a business and are part of the business, like people who have a share in the business and stuff like that. People who buy this and buy that into a company, only to hear that they're taking a plunge or they're taking a cut. They have to adjust these things to them first before it even can come out to the public. Anything that is going on before the public can aware of this, these things have to be discussed behind closed door. They have to call a meeting and they have to call all the people that have a interest in that business, that have a part in that business or a hand in that business, whatever that look like. And they have to discuss these things, and they have to not only discuss them, they have to show their findings, they have to show their recommendations, they have to show the strategies that they have in place to mitigate these things that they're saying that are going to affect them, and how they're going to navigate their way through that. Yes, Bitcoin's skeptical. Yes, because now a lot of things, you know, these things are not for really for the weak. You know, these things are like the Bitcoin or something. Because you gotta be really into these things to understand these things. You know, because when you don't understand it, that's where you get wrong in there. You know what I mean? You don't understand it. So now they're gonna have to have discussion before all. When we hear these things, the discussion is already done. Whether they agree to disagree, they already probably finalize things. And when the consumer hear or the people, yes, it's a ripoff. But you see, that's how changes come. Because consumer is always gonna get the brunch of right. We say rip. Go get it up. We go get that rip. Okay, consumer always be the one pay the price. Everything go up, taxes go up more. It was said, yeah, everything make up, and that everything count. Every single thing count. So when we see these changes, don't be alarmed. Start be aware. Start be on the alert to see how well you can make some adjustment in your environment, in your surrounding, and look at the things you're not gonna do no more, in terms of it's not necessary, it's not important. What you're gonna start to cut back on? Are you gonna start to cut back on the way you go out? What is it that you're gonna start to cut back on so that you can be better? You know, for your family, for yourself. Some of us are dealing with major illnesses that these rippling effects are going to be impacting because your insurance might not pay for these things. So don't just sit there and just say, okay, you know what, it's whatever. No, it's not whatever. Because you, the consumer, us, the consumer, is who gonna feel it. It's not the man that have a door open for him and he going with all his bodyguard. This is not him. It's the majority. By the time he feel it in the economy go back to normal. You see what I'm saying? By the time he start to feel the ripple effect of anything, the economy go back to normal because he created that change. But when the economic start to get to a decline, who feel it right away? You, the consumer. Nobody else but you. So start to look into things. If you didn't need this and you didn't need that, start to see what you can minimize. Sometimes we are not accustomed to adjusting to change. and that can also set us back. But bear in mind that we need to stand up. Tracy Local Learning, good evening, good evening, how are you? Good evening, how are you? Many times we are not willing to adapt to changes, but please, we're going to have to start. We don't have to accept nothing. Just remember, we don't have to accept nothing. But some things are going to impose on you whether you accept it or not. Like taxes. Whether you accept the taxes, it's going to be there until they can fix the economy. As the governor here would have said, fix the damn road. Until they can fix the damn economy, then you're going to see the word fluctuation. Think you're going to see hiking this. Maybe this month everything skyrocket, then next month they try to say, all right, they're going to come down a little bit. Or so, because this is the world. Like, that's how changes is making its way. And get up to time with AI. AI can be good and bad. Everything can be good and bad. Start get up to time. We gotta start get up to time with a lot of stuff. Because that's what they're shifting. They're shifting the focus. I remember once they come out and they were testing out, that chip where some people have in their hand, where you just use the chip to open the door. You just put your hand like this, boom, the door open. You can open your phone, boom, or you have it there and you can pay your bill and everything. I think there's a young man here in Michigan that have it. He is, I think, in his 30s at the time, that have the chip in his hand. But not a lot of people weren't agreeing with that. Can you can imagine somebody can just take your hand off of you, what you do? Wrong with you, go press it, open any door, do what they need to do. Like one time I was watching a movie and see where they just take the person hand off and just go do what they have to do, or drag your body right here and just press it like this. And not everybody was agreeing with that. But that's still out there. People do it. You have people who literally have the chip in their hand. But not everybody was agreeing to that because they were saying gone were the days. So please, people, start pay attention wherever you are in this country here. Start pay attention because when you look, you on. I'm pretty sure a lot of you thought that when you guys voted, you were only voting for what was important to you. But no, you're realizing yes, it was important to you, and you think these things was gonna be okay, this and that. But then, in order for things to become good, you have to face with the bad first to navigate your way to the good. And that's why I said the good always suffer for the bad. Because even when you think that you are helping to create a change and make a difference to improve the livelihood of human beings or the livelihood of everybody, because you're tired of that old system. You're tired of that what was there, right? And then when you say, all right, then let's take a change. Clearly, you take a change, but then in order for change to be implemented, sometimes you have to take a hit to really get the change that is really needed to make the economic better, to make the country better, to create more jobs, to just make the livelihood of people more better so people don't have to work that hard for just two little dollars that just dripped away with taxes. And you know that the more money you make, the more taxes come out of your money. So by the time you say, oh, I got $2 raise at work, yay, yay. And then when you get your paycheck, the taxes that normally take out your paycheck, you will get that money in onto the little money that you normally get before. But the little money that now you got for increase, you might not see that because that's what goes to taxes. And you jump, yay! But that year is over after when you look at the paycheck and you go. I remember once I was working and I get a raise and I look at my paycheck and I'm like, oh my God! I get my paycheck and I was so happy, but then when I look at the taxes, I'm like, ooh, taxes take half your money. But the only good part of taxes, then you can file your taxes and get back something. So that's one way to look at the benefit of something in one end. You lose here and can gain back in another way. So that's the give and take right there. But still, it is still gut wrenching when you say yes, you get that increase. You get a promotion, so you get an increase in terms of you getting a different paycheck now. Better. You can synchronize your family. Yeah, you can synchronize them after taxes, after you file taxes the next year. you know, Especially if you spend wisely and make sure you do what you need to do and you don't owe anybody anything, then you can see back a few dollars. But if not, so changes is here already, guys. It's not like he gone anywhere. It was just died down for a while, but it's coming. Consumer, wake up, because we're the one consuming. We're the one need gas. We're the one need the food. We're the one have nobody to open the door for us. We're the one have no security, but only we and Jesus. So we gotta wake up and start make the changes for ourselves. When we realize what is happening, because one thing started the change, and then you clearly see it take a U-turn, it take a shift. And I know a lot of you didn't anticipate that shift was coming like that. And I'm pretty sure even those people who are working in the heads, they didn't know that they were gonna get such a major delete. Now they're gonna have to have a button called deleted. They're gonna have to. Yes, Tracy, local learning. A lot of things are happening. They didn't know that. They just wake up and probably only to hear the next day they're going to work. It's like when you're gonna get fired from a job or anything, you feel it because the effect leading up to it, what was leading up to it, sometimes you feel it. And if you don't make that adjustment to take that leap of faith to just walk away, you won't get by out or deleted. Because you were going and say, oh, yeah, but you got to remember, some things you feel it. You see it coming. You just couldn't tell exactly which angle it was coming from. But sometimes you feel these things. Even sometimes people say they get fired from their job. They know it's coming. They just couldn't tell what was the angle in which it was going to come. The decision that they were going to make, the company going to make, or the organization, or the restaurant, the schools, the this, the that. But they could feel it because tension was leading up. Nothing is just do like that. Tension was leading up. Anything you're in, you're gonna get away from. Tension was leading up. They were having discussions. They were having meetings. Maybe you were exempt from the meeting. You might not be aware of it, but you could sense when things are happening. Sometimes we scent, but it's not the scent that we scent is not a scent that linger. If that makes sense, it's not the scent that linger long to say, oh. So that's why Harry was asking me, so what am I gonna do next week? Not realizing that Harry was warning you that something is coming that you might not like. And in that little bubble, Harry was there when they were having that little bubble. Tracy said that's why we should always be prepared for everything. Yes. But to be the truth be told, if people want to be honest, you feel those things before you get a letter or anything. Because you had tension. Your tension could be from a worker, your boss. Something just not sitting right. You go in one day, everybody face turn the other way. And you wonder why, because they never used to be like that. God give human being the ability to think. But sometimes when we're ready to think, it's late. And that's the honest truth. Sometimes you're on the verge, and especially, you know what I learned too? Anytime we have to start come home with a lot of problem, it's time to call it hat in. It's time to sign whatever you need to sign if you're one of those people who like to sign things and say, here you go. Or just walk away peacefully. It's like shock them before they shock you. Sometimes we literally see these things coming and we ignore the sign. Then why would God give our inner thoughts such a power to say, hey, brace for this? Why would he give us this? It's just like when they have these things and they put in the wildfire in preparation there and the alarm can go off. It might not go off, but they have it in place. Why would that happen? God give us the ability to think how mankind would be able to create such a thing. so that when there is natural disaster, something go off. Ooh, you should know what it is. Ooh. Anybody live in those kind of zone would know exactly. So when they hear that they need to run, get out, grab what you can quickly, and get out. And some people don't take the heed. They stay there waiting for change, and change come, and sometimes they're not in the change because they didn't want to take the heed. So change is here, people. It's here. It never gone. It's just that when the bigger heads start to take it on, then that's when people start to wake up and we start to realize as consumer that it's gonna affect you. Who you think it's gonna affect? Anything they sneeze is gonna fall right at the bottom. It's like somebody sneeze right now, and if they don't cover their mouth or anything, what you gonna see? You're gonna see all kind of droplets, and then you just have a spread. So what you think gonna happen? You're gonna have to spread your sandwich with butter. That butter probably won't melt because they're gonna have to the when we cost of living get higher and everything, a lot of things gonna have to change. And once it change, you might get people start practice unethical things. So you ain't getting the real deal no more. You get less for your money, but the money is more that you're paying, but you get less. It's like gone were the days you used to get a full bag of chips. Now you open a bag of chips and you say, you look at the TV 2 times, or I'm talking to you, and by the time I look back around, there's none in the bag, and you go, you take a deep breath because you're like, what? You're telling me I just buy the biggest bag of chips and it's done? And I know a lot of us are complaining about those big airy bag of chips, full of nothing but air holes. We call it, well, not ear hole, ear. And all they got is just air and beautiful packages and all these things. We can't eat that. We want what's inside of it, but we're not getting our money's worth. We're getting, yes, I catch it chips. I catch it this. I catch it candy. Everything is I catch it. But what we're not getting for our money is the value. Whatever we're gonna consume, we're gonna get in a decrease in it. Even bread, I never count the bread slices. I should have. I should have caught the bread slices, but I never thought of it then. I just thought of it now. I should have caught the bread slices so I know if I'm still getting my money's worth. I never thought of it then, you know what I mean? But when changes are happening, you're gonna start counting eggs. Like the other day I went to this store and I bought some what do you call it? $3 donuts, and um in my head I pay for 10 donuts, and when I come home I get 9 donuts. I'm like, they owe me a donut. I just paid $3. And I'm like, it's just a donut. I ain't gonna call and say anything. But I wouldn't call, but somebody else would. You see what I'm saying? Somebody else would. Tracy said, sometimes I think society is under mind control. People don't pay attention to the small thing. Oh, yes, small cut hurter than big one. Yes, man, trust me. 'Cause the small cut, sometimes you not even know it's there. Like now they're saying a lot of restaurants are doing a service charge for the eggs because of a lot of things that are happening. So you might not know some of these things are there. Listen to me, people. Have you ever get something scratch you? You don't feel it because it's so small. Oh, it's nothing. It's okay. Wait till you get in that shower and that soap collide with your little cut. Yeah, you're like, why is my hand burning me? Something is burning me. Then you call Harry, whosoever you live with. Harry, come and look right here. Man, only to realize you say, oh, is that broom I had broken the other day? Like me have a lot of scratches right here. And my broom is broken and it keep cutting me up. Even my son, and I tied the bag on top of it. It kept loosening and it kept cutting me up. So I gotta get me a new broom. Because this broom won't stop cutting me up. And it's cutting up my son too. The other day, I don't know how he said he have a scratch. I said, what were you doing? 'Cause he was cleaning it. But he said his broom change. I'm telling you. Those are things to survive in this world. costs so much. The basic things you need, food, clothes, shelter, all that cost. And the things you don't need it. So continuously monitoring. So now we gotta make sure we pay special attention to what is going on. Okay? Pay special attention to what is going on. Don't just sit there and say it is changing and it is not nothing. Don't do that. Don't just sit and assume. Pay attention. What is that singing? What? Somebody singing, and if you should, and Jimmy Amati, who is that singing? Oh man, that's creative though. A person singing is very creative. You can't see her face, all her hair cover her face. That's very cute. I'm telling you, human being were creative, but a lot of things happening, family. Okay, let me read this thing here, see what he said. Sorry, family, sorry. Continuous. I probably say continually monitoring, continuously. Continue, continuous monitoring. Regularly evaluating the effects of a change and making necessary adjustments can help manage the cascading impact and ensure desired outcomes. So, with what is happening now, currently happening, that is going to affect you, like with the price of even who in the market for house, the resources that people cannot get no longer. You got to pay attention to those. That gonna impact your budget as well. So even if you was, let's say you in the house for buying a house or something now, let's say you said okay, you're gonna do mortgage, but you have maybe say 300,000 put aside a car, and I'm just using that. Now you're gonna maybe have to have another 100,000 put on top of that 300,000 that you had to cover everything that you're gonna use. So with the closing costs, the opening days, and blah blah blah, all the things that you need to do. I did a course in home buying class once, but I don't remember everything. But I'm just saying you're gonna have to, you know, dish out more just to get the one little property that don't make no changes, because it still look like how you look at it. Or maybe they say it's like a car. You're gonna buy a car and they say sell as it is. You don't make no changes. But then when you go back, your car price either go up or go down. Either or. And all the mortgage that everybody was probably hoping, especially if you're in the market for buying properties or house or anything. A lot of things you're seeing, it's not gonna go away now. But you constantly paying attention to what is going on will also help you. Tracy Local Learning said, I gotta go, Queen. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, great stream. Thank you, appreciate. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you so much. Appreciate. Yes, you guys have a wonderful night if you have to leave and so forth. Thank you so much. And you know what? I'm gonna leave shortly too. Let me see if there was anything else. Sean Dig, how are you? Greetings, greetings. And then I'm gonna take you guys' name down so I can run you guys up. Greetings. But there's a lot of changes that's coming. You know, So the impact of change refer to the specific effects that changes in a business have on how it operates and the result the company gain from these changes, as well as us, the consumer. Yes, Dig said facts. I choice says a grace and peace. Yes, grace and peace to everyone. And hopefully mercy can make a change in what is happening out here. Yes, I church and shine. We call your name out today on our prayer wall. Blessings, blessings. A lot of change are coming, people, and you know, even who is in the technology world, and you guys are inclined. When I mean inclined, you're very much good at what you're doing. The way that these things are going to be pivoting, it's gonna benefit you guys too. Because when you guys realize that the market now is gonna be so much in demand for people who are in technology, it always in demand for people who are in technology. But when you have those abilities now, you're gonna be in more demands because people are gonna want to get with these things. So sooner or later there will be a good market, even with people who struggling with editing. A lot of people now go not just editing, but want to learn how to navigate just a basic phone. You have people in this world still don't know how to operate a phone. So you can imagine who somebody who's technologically inclined or advanced. I would say technophile when you are advanced. You know, you master the craft of technology. You guys gonna be in so much demand that you guys can start maybe have places where you could people could go and you could pay them to walk to. They pay you to teach them certain things, and you can be having money coming in because your time is precious. Because you still have people don't even know how to navigate a phone, a computer, and just anything gadgety wise. Anything gadgety wise, you know what I mean? So anybody out there in those market, you're gonna have to act and go with the change too and start do some of these things, you know, because you never know what you're gonna do. You don't have to charge a big bunch of money or anything. It's just, you know, little dollar for your service too, because when you see the economic and something, you can make a profit and some and your service make not even a profit, but make $2 for what the service you're gonna offer. Why not? You see what the country is doing, so why not you? We gotta get with it. These effects are both manageable and analytics offer use often use both qualitative and quantitative data to assess the effectiveness of any changes their employer makes. So even anything that you see is gonna impact us as consumer. This thing is not just gonna be overnight. It's something that they have to rigorously go through. So we're not gonna go through this any further tonight, guys. But I want to say to everybody that change is coming. Start utilize these things that are out here. Keep abreast of current events. Change is coming. You know what I mean? See, one man, I gotta see if I see that video they talk about today with the whale. Come on, um, what they call it? David Moore, write down his name. 6 o'clock today in newscast. He come on today and talking about how that man was doing the kayak and the whale was catch him. I remember we talk about that in the Bible as well, where Jonah and the whale, God asked him to go to the enemy city and he refused. And that's why I know when God called people to do stuff, he don't call you to just go into the beautiful community that you think is out there. He wants you to go to the bottomless pit to get what he needs to get out of that pit and come back to him with it. Because he gonna make a difference. He gonna make a change. But when you're not willing to accept and do his work, as a result, you're gonna fail him, and as a result, he gonna fail you. So we have to willing to take that baton and follow him in his pathway, because that's the only way change gonna come. You know, yes, when we get over on the other side and we no longer on this side, but God don't want you over here to just sit over here. He wants us because he brought you out of situation. He also wanted to help bring people out of that. I saw this thing here on the TV where they're building houses, and the lady that's building houses for people, she recently had cancer in 2022 and everything. And she said she's so blessed to be surrounded by people and have everything. When I mean everything, the wherewithal, the luxury, the this, the that, the finance, the stability, the this and that. But she said she not gonna let her cancer just let her look like okay, she just here and she just waiting for the next chapter. She's gonna use her cancer as a possibility for others to make changes, to make a difference. So even though she knows she have the wherewithal and the good support system and the success of the love of the success from her career and the love of everything she's doing around her, but she's still remembering the people that is left over here that are struggling with cancer, struggling with whatever it is, and they might not have the same luxury as her. People like those, God will always be blessing. and their pocket will never run dry. Because that's the thing, when you get out of something, it's for us to understand that when he push us over here, he don't push us over here to get comfortable. He don't, because his job, your job, when he put you over there, your job is not done. Yes, you're over here, you're looking upright and you're sitting poised and elegant and you're talking like, ooh, you're not in the head like you're a mad person now. Ooh, so well poised, so well relaxed, so well flash. But at the same time, the job he wants you to do is still over here. Remember, you were over here, but he wants you to go back over there. When he mean go back, he don't want you to go back and be like what you were in there. He wants you to go back and make a difference, make a change, use you as an example. You know how many of us, when you go out there in this world, people use as a prime example to make a reference to say, when I look at this person that started with me in this company, they were nowhere near some of what we were, others were up there doing, but they worked their way. You go through school, you have kids who barely could talk, read, and write. And right now, you have some of those children who could not talk, read, and write now are holding position that some of you who could be reading very eloquent, fluent, and pronunciating and enunciating are working for them now. You guys know those success stories. You have people who drop out of college, universities, high school, didn't even finish in the lower grades, but you're working for them right now. Because guess what? Not because they dropped out. God had a plan for them. Their vision was still written for them. Nobody could change that. And that's what we need to understand. Get with time, get with change. You're not going to like everything that is coming, but that's natural. Who like everything that's come at them? Right now, we are here as human beings. And why you think we have plastic surgery? Because we might not like some things. Why you think when we have stomach after having kids and we have the baga baga and the wagga wagga, the excess? We're trying to get rid of that excess because we want change. We want to create change. We have all these diseases coming, and if somebody didn't create a change so that we could live look longer, what would have happened? Just think about it. So when you see changes, don't be mad at changes. What we need to do is find a way to wake up for ourselves. Because if we don't, then somebody gonna flush us out quicker than how we would flush ourselves out. Now you're no longer flushing the bathroom, you're gonna flush yourself out. Shandik say, be the change that you want to see, and the rest of yeah will fall in place. Everything else will fall in place. Exactly. We can't just sit there and say, oh, the head is making a change. We gotta start make adjustment too. They're making adjustment. We gotta make adjustment. You know, like I talked once and I said, and experience. When you gain experience, I heard a lot of people grow up and talk that they were living in the projects. And nothing wrong with the project because they come out now. Lorna Love always say she's a prime example of growing up in the projects. But look at where she is. Look at her career. The project. She grew up in the project. But look at where Lorna Love is. And a couple of other people who come out and say they grew up in the project because their parents didn't have the way to all. Nothing wrong with that. Gone were the days when people embarrass you about stuff. But as Sean Dig here say, be the change that we want the rest of the world to see so everything can fall in place. That's the only way change gonna be happening. Having discussion, having dialogue. And while having these things, what are the findings? What are the solutions? Because just having empty discussions is not gonna help the problem. What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to make adjustment in? Is it your cable bill? Is it your phone bill? If you have 3 4 phones, how many of them you really need to have a phone? You can just have one phone, keep the rest with just regular home internet when you home those phones active, because of what we're doing. But some things that are not necessarily important, how frequent you use it. We have to look at these things. It's like when New Year coming, majority of everybody who believe in resolution make a New Year resolution. Some stick to it, some don't stick to it because it wasn't a change that they like, so they didn't bother stick to it. But that doesn't mean they didn't have something in place. It's like you're sick, you have a backup plan, and you say, all right, I'm gonna be out of work for maybe 2-3 months. I need to have 2-3 months worth of rent put aside just in case. And even if you didn't have a illness or anything, it's always good to have something aside just in case. In Jamaican culture, they say for rainy day, just in case. But as someone else alluded earlier to, we got to be prepared. I think it was Tracy Local said we got to be prepared, or it was I Church Church. I Church says grace and peace. We got to have that. And in order to have grace and peace, we have to go through the rubble. We have to go through the ups and downs. If we don't go through the ups and downs, we'll never know what is going to come at us. We never know. It's like I talk about nothing sometimes. Sometimes we got to do nothing to see result. Doesn't mean you're not doing nothing. But sometimes you have to look, take a step to reflect, assess, analyze, keep abreast of what is going on in order for us to help make decent adjustment into the changes that are going to happen, that are going to affect not just one people, but majority. The majority always feel it, whether we like it or not. Majority always feel it. But in order for change to become settled in and you're comfortable with it, we have, as Sean here said, we got to create it. And in order to create this too, with the economic crisis that you would say you don't start, you got to pay attention to the things that are going on. We have to. So, how does change impact changes? Technology is the biggest one on top. A lot of things are happening. You see what AI is doing. Long ago they talk about robots gonna start teach our kids. Sooner or later, a lot of stuff is. I'm telling you, it's like today they had no school day because it was snowing and everything. And I said to my son, you know what? You must be fortunate. You're fortunate because you're homeschooled. But think about the kids that didn't go to school today. They're not so lucky today because they might miss out but gain on the other end if they go to, get the snowing, boarding and all of that and enjoy the fun. Then they don't miss out because learning is taking place. They're learning to a new skill. They're learning something new. They're learning interaction, gaining new friends from just being interactive with others. So change is coming. Whether we like it or not, it is coming. It's already here. But these ones are going to affect us more. It will affect us more. It will affect the way we go out, where we hang out, what we do, how we spend our money, and all these things. So it will affect us. But that doesn't mean we must give up on life. We can't give up on nothing. I was watching this content creator. She have over 1 million followers, and she was saying, with what is happening now, she was saying that if you're a YouTuber or anything, what is happening in the White House, people need to start capitalize on these things and talk about these things, because she said even though you might not agree with this person or agree with that, that's different. You don't have to look at the political aspect of it. You can look at the everyday things that are going to affect you daily, day in, day out, and talk about these things. He says like creating something and say, this is what is happening, this is what is happening, and you mention that person name, then you realize that people tuning in to follow you and see these things that are happening. But it's not about him. It's about how the majority of us are going to be impacted. I'm writing down you guys' name so I can ring you out.
and we'll take care of all of our payroll needs as well as our HR so that we can remain focused on our customers and our core
So
business.
don't be afraid, guys, to go out there and talk, because current events is something that affect everybody. Even countries that are not here are being affected right now, because he threatening to put tariff on some of the other countries if they come after him, if they try to even put tariff on goods coming in here. So it's like a back and forth. Some things are coming to a resolution, and some things are not just going to just come like that. So you got to remember these things.
See how much you can save when you get to your bank this President's Day at Bob's. Your voice matters. And
Got to remember these things, family.
making sure your point of view is
And always stay prayed up. I like that story with that man there with the drone on the wheel. I call him drone on the wheel because that's what I remember. I'm gonna try to see if I search and see it. It come on the news this today, so I'm gonna try search and see it. Let me read what Shandig, I was scrolling, so let me read what you said. Shandig said, that's right. If we don't teach him right now, will they ever learn? Nope, they ain't gonna learn. We gotta get with it now. We gotta get with the ball now. These are current events. So even if we don't want to talk about, you don't have to go into politics. You just gotta go right into what you need to get to, and talk about what it is like for you. How is it gonna affect you and your family? Think about if you're the only breadwinner in your house. Just think about that. And you're the one doing everything. Your partner may be sick, having a terrible illness, or just anything. Are they at home taking care of the holding down the house, taking care of the kids, and you gotta work? And your dollar won't be able to stretch as much as it used to. Because now you gotta make adjustment. How will they receive? How will they ever become all that these youngin can become? It's our duty and responsibility to show them. Yes, where the youngsters want to become something, and it's gonna be our duty and responsibility at all times to make sure these youngsters get what they need to get what they need to get to educate themselves, and also to elevate themselves to the next level. And also we gotta start have discussion with the children when things like these are happening. And sooner or later you're gonna see a brain drain too. People start migrate to different areas. Anywhere things better, that's where people gonna start to go. It's like when the weather get bad, you have animals all go to the other side. Why? Because they don't want to stay there. They're making a change. Then when the weather is good, they all come back, right? So if birds can make a change, our animals can make a change, why can't we make a change? John Dick say, I am in Canada, and if they put that 25% tier or through, it means that our taxes go to 57%. That means complete breakdown. Exactly. Ain't go is a break, you're gonna be jumping at the stoplight. It's like you're crying going home. Because they said the more money you make, the more taxes you pay. And oh yes, because they're looking at a lot of stuff. But they're in discussion with all these countries that they want to put tariff on. So hopefully changes can come. Everything go affect, because even today I was hearing that some other countries too, that get that the US get things from. They're threatening to put tariff on the things, and my man not easy at all. Sometimes I have to laugh, because what else is there to do but laugh? You know what I mean? It's not like you're laughing after the situation. You're just laughing because at the moment you cannot think of a solution. And he said, if they put any tariff on any goods coming in there, he gonna put the tariff right back on them. And I had to laugh because I'm like, man, we're back into a rat race. We're back in there.
what was I supposed to do?
And Dick said, let's put another tax on the tax with one more tax. Not a good idea. Nope. Nope. Not at all. Now all the people who study economics and all these things, they're going to have to pull out their brain right now for help narrow down some of these things for the consumers like us to understand, who don't understand the impact, the big impact that it will have on your pocket because this your pocket gonna be affected because you use money to do everything. When they use a credit card, they still gotta pay back the credit card because the interest rate gonna be winding up. It's not swerving around like when you buy ice cream in the summer. You say, "I wanna serve," or whatever the ice cream called. You ain't gonna have that. You're gonna winding up. We are partners. We work so much together, better than we have ever will divide, and this is what we need to remember. I believe. Yes. And actually today, the first topic I was gonna talk about was something one of the words you use in here that I was gonna talk about, and then I didn't bother to talk about that. I went to my bed, and but I remember the topic, so I'm gonna write it down. But you have it in your message right here. I won't say what it is. I will just put it for the lesson when if that come to the thought to teach him. But we are partners. We work so much together, better than ever, and we will divide it. And this is what we need to remember. I believe. Yes. So many, and that's all we need to work together. But the only thing I have with working together is that not we all don't understand the working togetherness yet, because some of us are alone, and what we need is the community to come together and say, hey, look, and if we're going to build a community, this is how a community is formed. And this is what is your 2 shilling. I know you may be alone or by yourself for years or something, but this is it. Charmaine, how are you? Hello, my dear friend. True, doing, and how is your kids and you are doing? Okay, we are doing good. Charmaine, how are you? How are you? So it's like you ever see somebody by themselves all the time? So those persons, they might not, they've been in community, but they might not be in a community where they understand fully exactly how to navigate their way around. Absolutely, and that takes a dialogue, conversation. Yes, see where people sit and patient. Yes, and as somebody said today, I was on somebody channel. They said patience is a virtue, and not all of us got patience. You see what I'm saying? But the man that get it, I have it already. I think those people that already have it, they're the ones should be able to help the man over here. And when I mean the man over here, we're talking human being as a whole. To say, you know what? I know what it feel like to be over here where I think everything was just revolve around me. I didn't care about over here. I didn't care about nothing going on here or anything. But I've learned. Come up with those, show me those strategies that you have gained and learned. When you're talking about farming this or farming that, show them to me so I can process my thought. I might not agree with you then because I'm still stuck by a one man band thing. So when you're a one man band thing, it's not easy for you to just get up and evolve like that. No, it's a process. So having the dialogue, having the conversation, get the ball rolling. Because sooner or later, whether we like it or not, we're gonna have to unite. Because if we don't, what you're gonna see, as you mentioned that word in here, is a divide. And we're gonna see more division, and you see it right now. Hello. They need to start build computer with a button called deleted. Because they're deleting the head. They're deleting most of the stuff from the head. Education is at risk. Big education. It's not to say education ain't gonna be there, but there is so much going on with education already, with the decline in how children are performing, with the decline in how they don't have enough teachers that are qualified to teach children already. Sometimes they have to literally pull people like the from 18 above that are going through university or are not going anywhere yet. They just are still in high school. Pull these people to help. Yes, united we stand and divided we fall. Unity now more than ever. Yes. And we gotta want unity to gain unity. But we have to give people the time and place for them to breathe so they from fresh air so they can understand what it is when we talk about unity. When we talk about finding our tribe, when we're talking about finding our community, when we're talking about finding land, when we're talking about finding house, even even if you're in the market for buying a house, like I was once looking at some things. I had to take a home buying class in order for you to, if you, especially if you're going to get a grant or so, you have to take a home buying class in order for you to gain that grant. Especially if you're a first time homeowner trying to own a home. And there is, they said, $25,000 grant on the market. You get that, you don't have to pay it back. That can go towards your closing and whatever costs affiliated with whatever you gotta do with your what they call it, real estate or whatever it is that you're gonna have to help you navigate that process. You have to take that class to build that community so you can understand that when these people come on your team, now you kind of understand a little bit about, okay, this is how things gonna go. You also have to work with banks, work with maybe a loan company, somebody, so that you have somebody helping you navigate that process, because your loan is ain't gonna make no sense. You might sometimes, if you have that knowledge, then it makes sense. But what about the man that don't have it? So if you, when you're talking about strength and we talk about unity, we can't be divided, as Sean say here. We can't. We're not gonna agree on everything. That's what we gotta understand. The difference between disagreeing and agree. We're not gonna agree on everything. And one of the last thing I know, a lot of people who have a knowledge of a lot of stuff is not gonna we have to learn to agree to disagree. Because you don't want a yes person. Everything you say is yes, yes, yes. But I can tell you one thing: if you're gonna say no to something, give me the solution. Because if you have no solution, you're as empty as the things that are being said. No time for a yes man. No. You will say yes in some things that, if, especially if you know the facts about things, like something mentioned or so, and you say yes about that. Okay, there was facts. But think about, is like right now we're talking and it's just opinion, most of this stuff. Some things in there, the words that are being used, you can know some of these things are factual because they're out there. But then, is everything here factual? No. These things that are just our opinions. But when we get the facts now, you can back it up with research, and you go on a credible website and you get the information there and stuff. And you can say, according to this website, or the statistics from last year or 2 year back or 10 year back said this is that, and we're going into a drain. Soon we're going to lose our people, something like that, you know what I mean? So when we form communities, and if community don't have to be on YouTube, we're talking at large. When we form things and say we're in there, we have to make sure that everybody that is going to come in understand when we talk about community what it is. Because to be honest, you will have people around you in the community and they still don't understand what you meant by community. Hearing the word community, anybody can hear that. Because living in a community right now, anybody can know what a community is, because you're living in a community. It's like, say, I live in Michigan, somebody living in Pennsylvania, somebody is living in Chicago. They're living in their own community. I mean, mine, somebody here in Canada, Australia, Africa. Africa is a continent, but they have so many countries over there. Kenya, they gonna have their own community and stuff. But think about, let's say I come in your community. I come to Canada. I can say Canada because I've been there before. I go to Canada. I still don't know what your community is about. I don't know what it entails. I gotta learn the community. And in order for learning your community, I have to probably go out there, do my research, see where I can go to connect with people, and find out how to connect. Not just go in and say, hey, I'm here, so I'm connected. That's not how you connect. It's more than that. It's like you have to continually, it's something that you have to just keep generating until we understand, say, oh, this is what they meant by community. We generate, we share, we uplift, we inspire, we transform, we change, we build, we be productive, we go out there. Just like a church. A church is a community. Yes, we building a network. We got this. We going on every day. Me and another guy. If anybody else cares to come around from 10 to 1, and it's about exactly what you are talking about right now, Eastern Standard Time. I said 10 to 1. Is it 1 a.m. or 1 p.m.? Because it's 1 a.m. right now, so I guess it's 1 p.m. From 10 a.m. Correct me, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Okay, so from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Okay, I'll make sure my notification is on so I can and you say every day. Yes, man, we have to. We have to get up with the changes. We have to talk about these things. Back in the days, we don't have to go the political side. Because when you go the political side now, then that's where you can get entangled. And as small content creators, that's the last thing you want to do, to get entangled where you don't have, you're trying to find a dollar to save. You don't got dollar to save to go give no lawyer to get yourself out of hot water. So what you do is only talk about the things that are helping you, what you're gonna have to do, and how can people come in and have conversation and share their opinions about stuff. And you can always do research to get a little facts in there, like statistics and research based things. Because you see, earlier they talk about the qualitative and the quantitative research based projects that they have to do. They collect datas. They have to do focus group where they get people from random things in background or so forth. It's about networking and bringing yourself back into the community and getting out of that bubble would be getting stuck in. Yes, and that's why the communities are there to help us. But a community have to come together and tell why. Forming a community, what is the benefit of the community, what is the purpose of the community, what is that community hope to achieve, that will also help people as an individual. Because remember, when you leave the communities, like right now I close this computer down, I'm going to be by myself. What am I going to gain? What kind of tools, what kind of solution am I going to gain, so I could go ponder on and say, you know what, mm, so we have to look at these things and try to figure out how things can be, the purpose, the benefit, the advantage, the disadvantage of having a community. Because everything have pros and cons, whether we like it or not. Every single thing have pros and cons. Right now we're talking about the changes that are coming. And even though we might not dive deep down into the advantage and the disadvantage, but you have little of everything. It can be good and it can be bad. You know, the bad part is when we want to go pay more. That's what gonna happen. We gotta pay more out of pocket for car insurance, for housing, for rent, for just about the everyday life things, child care, medical bills. Whoop. Sooner or later, you're gonna have to pray to God. Please don't let me sick. Please don't let me sick. Please don't let me get sick. Please don't give me no major disease. Please, please, please. You're gonna have to be begging God because of all the high rise and everything. But you know what, guys? To God be the glory. He will fix it for us. But we gotta create that change, as Sean Big here said, in Canada Eastern Time. Yes, because Canada is near to us here in Michigan as well. In Eastern Time, he will be on from 10 a.m. in the morning to 1 p.m. Sean Dick said, perspective persistence overcomes resistance. Create a safe space where people can say what they need to say, what we all know we need to say, and talk about just like you are doing right now. Yes. Yes, and that's the only way, because you know what? Actually, I was reading something about the YouTube community thing that they were telling us how to navigate some things, and they were talking about inclusion and diversity. When we create a community for inclusion. And when I mean create a community with inclusion, we're talking about people from different background. As you mentioned, the perspective, then go have different perspective. You might not agree with what they said, but that's our discussion are gonna keep the ball going. You know what I mean? We're gonna keep it rolling. Because with what they said and we don't like it, now we have to come in and say, okay, yes, you said this, but I'm not gonna agree with you, but I'm gonna tell you why. And this is my take. And then we have to give a listening ears, because it's very important with listening. We have to give that listening ears, and then we're going to state why our perspective is going to take a little shift, which is a change. Nothing wrong with it. I might not like what you said, but it's still okay because it's a change we're creating. Change is happening, and we have to take the change and we have to fix things. Because everything not going to fix at the head. That's natural. Everything is not going to fix at the head. We are blessed with 2 years and 1 month for a reason. Oh, yes. 100% blessed with that. And that's why we got to keep going and pray. Prayer work. Because when I was reading on YouTube and they were talking about when we include diversity, we include different perspectives, and we're gonna have a lot more. There's a include. You talk about inclusion on YouTube. If you go into like a YouTube student, you start read upon those things. They talk about how can we include others from different background, because when we create they will create different perspective on life. They talk about diversity, equity, inclusion, educate yourself, varying and marginalized perspectives. We're all gonna have different perspective, even the same one issue right here. Everybody's perspective on it is gonna look different. Passion, and we can be passionate about something and be advocate for it. These are things that I got off a YouTube site, guys, that I had jotted down. You know, creating a team, like who is on my team. That's also on the YouTube thing there where I start to read up. Like they say the other thing, like they say behind the camera, who is on our team, and behind the camera who is on our team is sometimes we're not on our team. Sometimes we have a team and we're not on the team. And everything start with us. We gotta be understanding of ourselves. We gotta be honest with ourselves. Sometimes we are going through stuff, and to be honest, we are in the community, but our body, our mind is not there, but our physical aspect is there. So we gotta be. So that's what I get off of YouTube right there. And they say as you plan your content, views if as your content, they say views from the perspective of someone who may think differently from you. So as Sean did talk about the perspective, the persistent, the overcome resistance. Right? So that's where I get that from YouTube right here, where they said that with the views from different perspectives, they think different. Everybody think different, so they will be able to share their knowledge, their expertise, because some people are expert, everybody ain't just at a level, everybody at rank differently in terms of their perspective, our minds, our vision, our mission, how we see things. And that's how communities are formed, from different perception of everything. Even with children, they tell you children perceive the world around them the way they see it. Some children may say, what? I want to build a big monster truck wall over here. I want to build a big tower or something. That's their world, though. You grown as an adult, you're not going to agree with them with that, because that's just their little world, but that's their perspective and how they want to perceive the world around them. Shandik said, yes, we all have something to share, and everybody, there's space for everyone. And I have realized that you can be, yes, procreated in the wheel, or you can create your own wheel. Oh, yes. As you talk about the wheel, I remember one of these theories that study children, where they said they put the rat into this wheel and the rat was just running on. I think it was a level. Was it Piaget? I can't remember which one of them was it, but it was one of those theorists here that study children, and they had put the wheel, the rat in there, and they want to see how the rat was going to do it. Piaget, okay, yes, thank you. And the wheel was just running and everything. These people study the minds of evil animals and look at how animals perceive things, and also help to generate knowledge to help us as human beings. I've seen a research once where they were doing a research, and I think an elephant and a monkey, and they say a monkey is more smart, like smarter than a human, with the stuff that they were giving them. Rat race for a reason, yes, because everybody on that level. it was so it was so interesting though when I was learning about these things. But and then it's so funny when we learn things, it you don't use it right away. But you'd be surprised to know as you start to go along, as you start to make a turn and uplift yourself and elevate yourself, these things are popping back up. And that's why it's very good to dabble in different things so that when you grow older, these things help you later. It's like you learn, you go clean the floor, you go mop this, you go do that, you go do that. That make you well rounded. And the more well rounded you are, it's the better for us. And it better will be able to be in something and not be offended or anything. It's like people who travel. People who travel the world every day, nothing you will say will roast them. You know why? Because they have dealt with their fair share of roast. Now they look like they say, boys and girls, I don't care about your roast beef. We already been through it. We get our fair share. Because what? They learn to accept changes. They might go in a different country and they say something, and these people didn't like what they said and they correct them. They say, no, we need to offend you, but we just got to correct you because if you want to come to be a part of our community, we have to correct you on some things. Because that's their country, that's their community, that's their livelihood. So maybe what we will say here in Michigan, it don't work in Philly, it don't work in Canada or anything. But that's how you guys know from those part of the world or those part of the country is gonna come together and say, hey, look, I know you're from Michigan, but what we do in Michigan, it don't happen over there. What we do in America, half of those stuff don't happen in Canada. What we do in Canada and USA don't happen in Jamaica, because Jamaica clearly don't have snow. So all the cloak that we're cloaking up, we don't have that. We have rain, so we have umbrella. We have raincoat. You know what I'm saying? We have rain gears. But some things are just gonna be in that specific community. Our mother tongue, which is the Creole, Wagwan, Yeman, Medea. Everybody good, everybody nice. All those things are gonna be native to your culture. Yeah, man, me hear you. Yeah, man, Wagwan. But at the end of the day, as Bad Marley would put it nicely, it's one love, one heart. Let's give thanks and praise to the Lord, and we will feel all right. So, guys, I'm not gonna stay any longer with you guys. I want to say a big thank you to you guys, but start get out there. I forgot the name of the YouTuber I was watching, but she said, "Don't be afraid to talk about these changes now." She said, "Don't be afraid." She said, "If you're a YouTuber now, start capitalize on these things because these changes are happening." And she was showing a few videos. What's her name? I think her name is Odette. And actually, I think she was living here in America and migrated to Jamaica back too. She have a million or something subscriber. I think more than a million or so. I think her name is Odette. She give good tips on everything too as well. And I was listening to her, and she said, "You guys gotta get with the changes." They say you might not like politics, forget the politics, and talk about the stuff that is happening out there. All right. So until then, family, I want you guys to have a blessed night. Thanks for the love, thanks for the support, thanks to everyone who tuned in and everybody who is in the comment section. Thanks to Sean Dig all the way out of Canada. Thanks for the love and support. The dialogues always continue. We don't know what tomorrow night gonna come because as I said, I want my mouth to be filled with praise. We don't have to I don't want my mouth to be always cussing nobody out and everything, you know what I mean? Because it's easy to root to rot than it's easy to root to good. It take longer to get to good than it take to get to bad. You get to bad quick. You like this. Boom. It's like you're having a good dialogue and somebody just come in and just change all of that. You know what I mean? So we have to stay on track and stay in part. And as Sean Dick said, keep the perspective, keep the negative out. You know what I mean? I like to say dial out. If you don't have nothing good to say, just dial out. You know what I mean? You dial out. The positiveness takes some effort, yes, but it worth it in the end. And I always say to when you're a new YouTuber, you have to get the trials and tribulation. When you're new in a job, somebody in there gonna test you. It could be the boss set them up to test you to see the bad side of you. They want to know. They don't just want to know the good side of you. They want to see what knock you over. Okay, you can't just always walk in. Oh hi, Sean Dave. How are you? Nice to meet you. Sean didn't know nothing about what really trigger you. All he knows is the nice part of you. So when you see people with this one, this side of them, it's easier for you to navigate your way with that person. Then you just have somebody trying to sail smoothly. No, something wrong in between there. You know what I mean? So we have to keep those conversations and those dialogues, and don't be afraid to keep them going, because that's what's going to strengthen communities, and that's what's going to keep the perspective alive. And we have to just remember, we respect everybody's opinions, whether we agree or not, whether we agree to disagree. That's what gonna strengthen community, because the discussion is happening. Look at all these talk shows where you have four different women on a panel, or men's on a panel, or anything, or like covering the games and covering the views, covering this, and you hear they talking, they all have different perspective. Sometimes somebody says something and just their facial expression, it tells that they didn't like what this person said, but guess what? They respect that the person was able to share, because that's the whole process. It's a community, and if you're going to talk as a community, everybody ain't going to be on the same level as you, saying the same thing as you. They will agree with some part, but they're going to have a but. So until then, we're going to butt out. All right? We're going to butt out, and then we're going to say good night, and the negative be easy. Oh yes, it's always be easy to shift there. Even when you're being positive, it's always easy to route there. And that's what I'm working on. And I always say, you know what, we can dialogue if something don't sit well with us. You know what I mean? In anything we're doing, we don't have to be rude. You have rat mice out there, so we don't have to curse nobody. We have the rat, because they come in numbers when they even eradicating, when they come into your house or anything. You have the roach, when they come in bundles. You have the bed bugs. So you can use those things as a way to just be nice to people. Nicely. Great work, excellent stream. Keep on going and do all you're doing. Yes, Sean Dig. All right, not Sean Dig. Yes, Shine Dig. I'll see you in the next light. So I'm gonna put my notification on, make sure it's on, and make sure everything is up and running so I could see you. You see, you're gonna be on tomorrow, Eastern time, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., guys. So if you are following, please check Sean Dig out. He will be on tomorrow in Canada, Eastern time, which is closer to Michigan time as well, or maybe if you're in Florida too, I think. Yes, Florida is closer to here. So Florida is Eastern time as well. I don't have my map in here. I need a map in here. Because when I have the map, then the times are on there, the time zones. So anybody in around that's in Eastern time zone, he will be on from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So until then, people, you have a blessed day and blessed night wherever you are. And thank you all for tuning in. And I will ring you up tomorrow. All right. So until then, you have a peaceful night. And we say, peace out.